Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Alyssa and I make videos twice a week on Tuesday and Friday, all about makeup and clothing and lifestyle and all sorts of things and lots of hauls. So if you like hauls, then join me. I want to say, I don't know what this is, this little beam of light here. It decides to make an appearance in like every other video that I make. I don't know what it is. It comes from my fan. I don't know how to get rid of it. So I'm sorry if it's very annoying. It's annoying to me, I promise. But anyways, today's video is going to be my top 5 eyeshadow palettes. So I will link the rest of my top 5 series down below. I've done blushes, highlighters, nude lips, and foundations. So I'll link all those down below if you want to see the rest of them. I think I've only got a couple left, which is exciting that I've almost run my course on this little series journey here. Why aren't you? Shush! So, if you would like to see my top 5 eyeshadow palettes, then just keep watching. Okay, so this one was actually really easy to pick out. Usually when I do these videos, I'm having to kind of like pick and choose and go back and forth and spend like an hour and a half trying to figure out which ones are my favorites. The blushes were so bad. So bad. But this one, I just opened up the drawer and I was like, yep, I'm good. I don't need anything. So let's just jump right in, shall we? So I have a file organizer that sits on my desk that holds 3 palettes. These are my like ride or dies, top 3, reach for on a daily basis kind of palettes. So let's just dive right in. So the first one is the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. This palette is so beautiful. I have to say, you will notice a theme here with my eyeshadow palettes. Warm neutrals have my heart. That's all I buy, it's all I wear. So that's all I'm going to talk about today. So if you are a cool time person, I'm sorry, I don't really have too many options for you. Actually, I have one option that has like a few. But yeah, I'm a warm-toned person. Warm-toned person. So let's just jump in. So this is what the Naked Heat palette looks like. I'm sure you've seen it everywhere. All of these are extremely popular, so I'm sorry if you're sick of seeing them. This is actually what I'm wearing today. If you can see, it's just a very basic warm-toned eye. I put sauce all over my crease. I put in Fuego in the outer corner, and then I put Ounce on the inner 2/3 of my lid, and it just creates a really nice, basic, warm, smoky eye that doesn't get too smoky, because I'm not like a smoky person, but it's just like my natural, everyday makeup. Natural, right? Anyways, I love this palette. I love how pigmented these colors are. I love how blendable they are. And they're gorgeous colors. They really are. They're very buttery. So the next palette is like a cult favorite. This is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. This palette, I open it up and I just get happy. I don't know what it is about this palette, but I just think it is the most beautiful just array of colors that I'm just like, yes. So, I'm sure looking at it, you can see which ones are my favorites. I don't reach for the pinks all that often, but when I do, I'm just like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted, and it gives me exactly what I needed. I love this formula. This is my favorite formula across all eyeshadows. It just is. They're so pigmented and they just blend out like a dream. Like, you dip a little bit in and you can just start fluffing, and it's just gonna keep going everywhere, and it's just, I love it. I love that I don't have to use too much, because it means I'm never gonna run out of this palette, which is good in my book. This is the palette that I travel with. Like, if I'm going anywhere, this palette is coming with me, because I can do everything I need with it. on my like natural no makeup days, I like to throw Golden Ochre and Blonde Fresco, mix those two and throw them in my crease. I'm good to go. Throw on some mascara, some brows, a little bit of concealer, and I'm good to go. I love it. But you can also get like really dramatic, beautiful looks out of this, and that's what you need when you're traveling. It's something that can do both. So that is my travel palette. The next palette, I love this palette so much. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. I know I've talked about this. Everyone has talked about this so much. But it's a good palette. And I'm obsessed with it. And it's, look at it, it's beautiful. This is like every color you could possibly need to create any look kind of palette. Like, I can do basic looks, I can do really dramatic looks, I can do basic dramatic looks, I can do like super colorful looks. I can do everything with this palette, and it's fantastic. If it wasn't so big, it would be my travel palette, but it's really big, and it's not going to fit in my travel bag, and I just don't think I can be that extra to like have a palette that doesn't fit in my bag, but still take it with me everywhere. Like, just a little too much, but I do love this palette. It sits on my desk at all times, and I reach for it on a daily basis. I really like mixing this palette with the Naked palette because mostly just for this color right here, this color mixed with the Naked Heat palette is gorgeous. Just like absolutely gorgeous. These aren't the most blendable in my collection, so I do have to spend a little bit more time going slower and working the colors in, but honestly it's worth it for this beautiful array of colors here. And this packaging, I know everyone talks about how it gets like super dirty super quickly, but like mine still looks brand new, so I don't know what y'all are doing, but maybe just don't be a savage when you're doing your eyeshadow. There's an idea. Okay, so the next two, let me start with this one. This is like my heart and my soul. This is the first high-end palette that I bought for myself, and I still love it. It's got such a sweet spot in my heart. So this is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. Y'all, this palette, it's honestly one of the most basic palettes that I own, just because like I own so many now, but I still love it, and I love to reach for this on a daily basis. This formula it's not powdery, but it's still super pigmented and blendable and buttery, and I just love it. I love it, and I'm still finding new ways to use it, which I love. So two of my absolute favorite colors, and I reach for this palette specifically for these colors on a very regular basis. So those two colors are Puree and Summer Yum, and I just think they are the perfect warm toned transition colors that just like every palette needs, you know? I love them so much. And one color that I've recently dug into that I use in a way that I'm sure it wasn't intended for is Candied Peach here. This is actually like chock full of shimmer, but I love mixing it with Puree and putting it in my crease because it gives it the most beautiful, warm, peachy, pinky deliciousness that I'm just like obsessed with. And the shimmer doesn't translate once you start buffing it out, and I love that I can still find new ways to use this palette. It means that I'm never going to get bored with it. I love this palette. I love the packaging. I love how it's like that metal tint. I love how it's got peaches on it. I think it's adorable, and it sticks out in my drawer because it's the only one that I have that's this kind of like bright pop, hey, look at me, I'm pretty kind of packaging. Okay, and last but certainly not least, I have a drugstore option. So this is from Hard Candy. This is their Look Pro Matte Eyeshadow Pro Palette. So you open it up and that's what it looks like. It actually comes with 2 brushes down here. I threw those out because they're not very good. But this palette is so good, and I was so surprised because if you know me, you know that I'm one of those people that believes that eyeshadow palettes are an investment. They're something to collect, and they're worth the $50 investment, in my opinion. And I've never found eyeshadow palettes at the drugstore that I loved, that I thought were really worth the money, because usually eyeshadow palettes at the drugstore are overpriced for what they are. They just usually are. This palette is only $10. You get a buttload of colors, 15. There's 15 shades in here. There's transition shades, there's matte, it's all matte. There's pastels, there's deeper colors, there's transition colors, there's all over, there's 4 different all over, I don't know, brow bone highlights, or to set your eye primer down. And I love that they did, it's basically the same color, but they all have different undertones, which I think is fantastic. Because, like, for me, I couldn't use this yellow to, you know, highlight my brow bone or anything because I'm not yellow toned. But someone that is super yellow toned, that would be a fantastic brow bone highlight. So I just love that they threw those in like 4 different undertones. But this formula is actually really, really nice. And I don't hear anyone talking about this palette. So that pinky swatch was a terrible swatch. So don't mind that one. But I mean, look at that. That's like 1 swipe over the eyeshadows. And the pigmentation is just, they're not as soft as some of the high-end ones that I have. I will say that. But they give great pigmentation, and you just gotta work with them a little bit more. But once you get there, it's just like, yes, that is a good shadow. I feel like I'm not explaining this well, but it is. It's a great palette. And I love that it's only $10 because not everyone has the $50 for an eyeshadow palette, and I totally understand that. So I just think this is a great palette. I love some of these deeper colors. Like, one of the main reasons that I bought this palette was this red right here, because I had never seen a red, just that cranberry yumminess thrown in with all these like pastels and purples and basic colors, but it's beautiful. I mean, look at that. That is just like the most beautiful cranberry red that just, oh, and these blend out so beautifully. It may take a little bit of extra time and work with them, but once you get them there, it just, they're beautiful. I love this eyeshadow palette. I love the price point. I love everything. I feel like I'm not explaining this well. This is one of those products that you just need to try for yourself, because I'm terrible at explaining things. But I love that palette. I love the formula. I love the colors. I love everything about it. And it's only $10. So, you know, if I didn't convince you, maybe just try it anyways, because it's only $10, right? So, anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!